हेलो गाइस, वेरी गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। कैसे हो आप सब? आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू गाइस आर होल्डिंग अप वेल आफ्टर द नीट एग्जाम. Many of your batchmates, friends, they might have gone through, and that pains a lot. I know that. And nevertheless, guys, you have to get back to the churn, and you have to re-strategize and come back to the fold. Right. One good thing is that the next NEET exam is not very far away. I can say, I mean, it's not more than 1 year. Somewhere around 6 to 7 months is what we can make a guess about. And this session today is all about, just so that we can talk with each other. I can provide you some solace. And apart from that, I can tell you how to bounce back, how to re-strategize, and you kind of have a hesitation to get back to it. There are a lot of questions in your mind that I could not make it last time. What can I do differently that I would be able to make it this time? And such kind of questions they keep on coming into our minds, and sometimes we might think of even giving up. So first of all, I'll tell you whatever I have planned today, right? At last, then you can comment and ask your doubts. Don't comment and ask your doubts now, otherwise it will be difficult for me to organize the session, right? So first of all, let me tell you whatever I planned for today. Then you can ask me whatever doubts you have, right? So let us get going, guys. See, this session today, guys, I cannot, see, in one session, I cannot do a lot of things. So today's session is about those students, only about those students who appeared for the last NEET-PG exam. They prepared for the last NEET-PG exam for 1 year or so, but still they could not get a good rank. So those students, what should they do to get a good rank? This is for those students, right? So let us let's begin with today's session, guys. Target NEET-PG 2023, and so this is a question that I have got. That I have got a rank of about 70K, 80K, 90K, or even 1 lakh, right? And can I bounce back? Is it worth investing another 6 to 7 months of my life? Is it worth for me to hope that I can make it in the next NEET exam? If I've not been able to make it in this NEET exam, I've tried everything. Right, now let me tell you first thing, guys. The answer is yes. Don't count yourself out. Even if you have got such a bad rank, you can make it even in the INI set exam. So that there is the first ingredient you need to have: self-belief. You have to believe in yourself that yes, I can do it, and there is a reason why I'm doing it, right? And if you begin with that, you'll find ways. All right, you might not know how to make a strategy. You might not know where you have gone wrong. That is what I'm here for today, to find out those loopholes. So let us find together, you and me, find out where you could have a loophole, and how can we fill those holes in your boats, right? So first of all, if you look at the pillars of preparation for a competitive exam in the medical field, be it NEET-PG or INI set, there are 4 pillars basically. And these 4 pillars, for any competitive exam, be it NEET-PG, INI set, right? First part is theory. So you need theory, and that theory can be in the form of either videos or face-to-face class, whatever it is, right? I'm not here only for the app-based students, for all the students, all who has appeared or studied from apps, or who has studied from face-to-face classes. And you appear for those classes either virtually or in reality. Then you make your notes, or you have printed notes, does not matter. That is one pillar. Second pillar is Qbank. And Qbank, you must do it at least twice, right? You must bookmark. So twice you must go through it. Then, or at least once, you should go through the question bank, Qbank, and then you should bookmark and go through those bookmarks at least twice or thrice. Then GTs every 2 to 3 GTs in a month, and revision around 2 to 3 revisions. 3 is perfect if you can master 3 revisions, but everyone can because of limitation of time. I understand that, but at least 2 revision is must. 3 is good, is icing on the cake if you're able to make 3 revisions, right? Now, these are 4 pillars of your preparation. The first thing you need to find out is that where is it that did you lack? Where was your commitment lesser? Because see, a lot of times what happens is students, they tend to get swayed away by the interviews of the toppers, right? And they try to blindly follow them. Never do that in your life. See, getting inspired from someone is one thing, but copying someone blindly and expecting the same result is a blunder, right? So the first thing you need to understand is what kind of person you are. So let us say someone comes and he has followed a path, he has got a good rank, 100, 200, 300, and he says that I did not pay much attention to theory. I was much bullish on the Qbank. So I gave my 70% of time to Qbank. That is why I got a good rank. Now this statement is true for him, but it might not be true for you. Now if you follow him blindly and negating your theory part and giving maximum time to Qbank, it might be a problem for you. Let me break it down to you why this happens. For example, there is a student who has studied during his undergraduate period, right? All the standard textbooks, or he has followed the videos of any app, and he has basically studied throughout his undergrad period, and he has not been a student who has studied from exam to exam, as I was myself. I was never a serious student who would study throughout the 12 months. I'll study just 1 to 2 months before the exam, and I'll get through the exam, right? So everybody is not like that. Most of us are like this only, right? We just want to get pass the exam, get the degree, get the hell out of the college, and live our life. So if a student has been studious throughout his UG period, his theory is strong. If his theory is strong, if your theory is strong, and if you're bullish on Qbank, it's going to work. But if your theory is weak, right, you're not on a strong footing on your theory, and you're not investing time on theory, rather you're investing time more on the Qbank, then it will become counterproductive. So what you have to do is you have to strike a balance. You have to equally give time to Qbank as well as theory. So as I'm telling guys, there is no one formula for everybody. It does not fit into each and every human being. All of you who are watching this video, all of you are different. So all of you have to make tweaks or changes. So watch the videos of toppers, attend my session, but don't blatantly follow everything that I say, right? You understand, try to understand what I'm saying, try to understand what the toppers are saying, right? Take those points and see what suits you better and make a plan for yourself. Grant tests, there are lots of purpose of giving grant tests. A lot of students, they say, see, this mistake happens a lot of times, that in the beginning of preparation, what happens is when we have not completed even 2 or 3 subjects, we think, why the hell should I give a grant test? So there are a lot of collateral benefits of grant tests, which I'll discuss today. And finally, revision, guys. Not being able to get adequate number of days for revision is one of the biggest reason of failure. No matter how much you have studied earlier, if you're not able to revise that content, 19 subjects, medical science, it is so vast. And that is the reason why you have to revise like this. You can see a bigger revision, a smaller revision, then a micro revision. So you have to have enough number of days for revision, and that's only going to happen only if you finish your course on time, or if you finish whatever you have planned on time. And for that, you need to have monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, and even try to have hourly goals. So within these 2 to 3 hours, I need to finish this. That is something that keeps you on your toes. Otherwise, what happens, you'll just keep on browsing Facebook or WhatsApp, and you'll be wasting a lot of time. But you know that within these 3 hours or 2 hours, I have to wrap up CBS. That means it will keep you on your toes, and it will give you a sense that 24 hours is even lesser, right? Guys, I've told you that you ask me your doubts. Once I'm done, then you comment your doubts. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me, right, to juggle. So first, let me finish whatever I have to say. Then you can ask me whatever personal doubts you have, right? Now, theory. let us look at the theory. 19 subjects, right? Uh, whatever I've written here is based upon my experience throughout these years, whatever students they message me, right? So one category of students they message me, sir, um, I prepared, but towards the end, I could not complete 2 to 3 subjects. So I just watched some videos here and there, or I solved some questions, but I could not complete 2 to 3 subjects. That is one drawback that has. Second is, I did 14 to 15 subjects from main videos, rest from revision videos. Third, I completed 19 subjects from main videos, but I'm weak in 2 to 3 subjects. Now, I know many of you will fall into any one of these three categories as far as theory is concerned. And that means if there is a loophole here, this is something we need to address. So bit by bit, I'll try to build up. I'll try to build up how you need to re-strategize your preparation. So see where you lie in these three categories. And out of these, the first and the third category have not completed 2 to 3 subjects. I have not completed 2 to 3. So obviously I have to complete those. Or I have completed 19 subjects from the main videos, but I'm weak in 2 to 3 subjects. Means continuously I'm not able to live up to the mark. Because see guys, if you're not able to do well even in one subject, that is gonna hurt you, because it is a competitive exam. You need to snatch a seat from each other. So you have to outdo your peers, right? So you cannot let even one subject go wild way, right? It becomes difficult to compensate. So what is the plan ahead, right? So I have these 2 to 3 subjects which I've not done, or 2 to 3 subjects where I am weak in. What am I supposed to do about those subjects? Number one, I have to complete. If I'm not completed, I will complete. I have to revise. If I'm weak, I have to revise those subjects again. And these two to 3 subjects, I'm taking 2 to 3. You might have 2, you might have 1, you might have 4, you might have 5. As I said, it will differ from person to person, right? So suppose I have 10 hours in a day. I'm saying hypothetically, suppose you might have 8 hours, you might have 7 hours, right? If I have 10 hours, productive hours in a day, what I can do is 2 to 3 hours I'll give to these 2 to 3 subjects. So for example, let me say pharma is my weak subject, right? So I'll not jump into pharma and try to cover pharma in 5 days in 50 hours. I'll not do that. I'll rather break it up. So if I have 50 hours of pharma, I'll do it for 25 days. I'll complete it gradually, because it is my weak subject. That is where I want to make it strong so that my performance improves. Just a second. Huh? So 1 minute, guys. There is some problem with my system. I'm trying to address that. All right. So where were we? All right. All right, guys. So what I was saying is, I'll not complete pharma in 5 days, 10 hours each. 25 days. I'll take 25 days, and in these 25 days, 2 hours each. 2 hours each day, I'll try to study something, and gradually I'll cover up the course. And 8 hours I'll keep for revising other subjects, solving Qbank, or doing something else, right? So any two or one or two subjects you can revise those 8 hours. So our aim here is for those 2 to 3 subjects, those those 2 to 3 subjects, our aim is to make it strong. Now, how am I going to make it strong? I have told you is to divide it, break it up. So gradually, right? Now, even this has to be done in a proper way. How to increase retention of weak subjects. So those 2 to 3 weak subjects, obviously they're weak for a reason. I've not studied well in my UG period, or some people, they find some subjects difficult. So I find it difficult. So how am I going to improve this? See, one thing which I can do here is I'll follow a method of triple R. So what is triple R? Read, revise, and re-revise. Right. So I'll read, revise, re-revise. See how this works. Day one, so what I'm going to do here is day one, I'll read for 2 hours. Day one, I'll read for 2 hours, right? So suppose pharmacokinetics, I've studied for 2 hours. Day two, I'll revise that pharmacokinetics for 20 minutes. So if I've studied it just yesterday, today I can revise it in 15 to 20 minutes, right? So I'll just revise whatever I have studied yesterday. And day three, I'll revise it or re-revise it in 5 minutes. So or overlook, you can say overlook. So it is going in a triplet. I will study, I'll revise, I'll re-revise. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reinforce whatever I have studied into my permanent memory. You know how we create permanent memory? By doing or reading things time and again. So if you're giving it a repeated revision in triplets, now you can do this. You can do this at least for those 2 to 3 subjects which you are weak in. And believe me, if you follow this pattern for 25 days, for pharma, for example, pharma will come out to be your strongest subjects. That happens, right? Now, obviously, I cannot do it for 19 subjects because I don't have that much time, but I can do this at least to block my loopholes, to get out of my loopholes, right? That is something I can do. All right. See, as I've said, guys, I'll address all your questions one by one, but let me first tell you how to re-strategize and how to come back to the field. Now, once I have done this, now coming back to the second class of students, I did 14 to 15 subjects from the main videos, rest from revision videos. So let us say someone has done some 3 to 4 subjects from revision videos. There are two options. You can choose whichever you like. Option A, watch main videos for those 3 to 4 subjects. Now you can do that, right? And try to cover them as I have said, read, revise, re-revise. Option B, add on points from the Qbank. So whatever you have studied from the revision videos, it is fine. When you solve questions from each modules, you'll find extra points, add on to the notes of revision videos which you have made. These are two options, though I'll advise you to go for this one. The first one is my advice. Go for the first one. Try to redo it from the main videos and follow the way that I told you, triple R, read, revise, re-revise. So the first thing what we have done is we have addressed the problem with the first pillar that is your theory part, right? So wherever you have this loophole, I've told you how to get out of it and begin to work from that. So for example, pharma is your weaker subject. Start your day from pharma. The first 2 hours in the day, do pharma. Then keep 8 hours for some other subjects. So do pharma, then solve some questions, Qbank, right? Then jump onto some other subject, some subject which you are strong in. So try to end your day. Second half of day with a subject which you are strong in. Don't club a subject. Don't club 2 difficult subjects for the same day. It becomes counterproductive, right? Now coming to Qbank, guys. Qbank. See, what is the purpose of Qbank? One reason why students they fail miserably is because they do not pay much attention to Qbank, right? So you have to pay attention to theory, right? If you are an average student and you have not studied, you have studied from exam to exam in your UG period, you have to make your theory strong, right? Let us be practical. Second, but apart from that, you have to pay attention to your Qbank. you might not be as aggressive as someone else, but at least you have to do Qbank twice. Why? What is the reason? Because the exam is MCQ based. So the reason being, at the end of the day, when you go to the exam, solving MCQ should be a daily affair. It should not be something new, right? Second is you have to hone your MCQ solving skills. So whenever you solve MCQs, you would know that you would see that you'll not be able to solve all the questions directly. You cannot pinpoint on an options directly, bang, that sees the answer. You cannot do it for all the questions. But a lot of questions, you get the right answer by ruling out the options, one or two options. Then you're left with two options. Then you try to find the better answer. So this is a skill that you have to hone, and it comes with practice and practice and practice. So a time comes when you look at an MCQ and you try to find the answer, even if you don't know the correct answer. Now that is something you have to do. Plus minus, there is negative marking, so you have to be considerate, while you don't have to over attempt also, right? See, Qbank can be a learning tool as well. See, usually what happens is you have gone through the videos of a topic, or you have revised the notes of a topic, then you solve questions from that particular topic. Then what happens is some information which is repeated from the notes in your Qbank question, they tend to stick. And second thing is, from Qbank, we get to learn a lot of new points as well. As I said, medical science is very vast, right? No one can cover everything in the video lectures. There would be some random points here and there which you can get from the Qbank as well. And use bookmark and the custom modules aggressively, right? And bookmark is important. See, in our times, there was no bookmark because we didn't have any app. So how we used to bookmark? First reading, when I'm not able to solve a question, I will just put a cross mark. Second time I'm solving, I'm not able to solve, I again cannot put cross mark, because I'll be able to solve many. Suppose I could not solve 100 in the first time. Second time I'm not able to solve 50. Then what I would do with the rest 50, I'll put a circle, right? So now the circle ones are my important ones. Then I'm not able to solve 20. So those 20 questions, what I'll do is I'll put a star mark. So those 20 questions I have to revise before the exam, right? So there was manual bookmark, you can say. Now, fortunately, you guys have the luxury of apps. Now, shall I be more aggressive on notes, or shall I be more aggressive on Qbank? Now, see, I have already told you about this particular thing in the beginning itself, that it will differ from person to person. If you are a person who is quite solid in his theory, right? Quite solid in his theory, you can get more aggressive on the Qbank. That will be productive. But if you are on a weak footing, on your theory part, and you'll become aggressive on the Qbank, it kind of becomes counterproductive. So you have to kind of counterbalance the notes or the theory as well as Qbank. So that is a balance that you have to create and move forward, right? So you have to find out what kind of person you are. I cannot tell that, right? Now guys, GT's grand test. One thing, right? A lot of students, the more you delay giving grand tests, the more counterproductive it is. You must give grand tests so even in this month, there will be grand tests. You must attempt those grand tests. 2 to 3 grand tests in a month is must going forward. See, how much you score in a grand test is one purpose, right? But it is not the only purpose. It's not the only purpose. A lot of us, we tend to misguide ourselves, or we tend to get depressed when we are not scoring well in the grand test. That is one purpose. But there is a lot of other factors. See, many of you, falter in time management. You're not able to equally give time to all the questions. Some of you leave questions in the end. Now that is a blunder. That is suicide, guys. That is something you have to learn in the Qbank. So you have to increase your stamina. Number one, you have to increase your stamina. So solving those 200 questions in a limited number of hours, it should not be something which is difficult for you or something new for you. It should be a daily affair. You should cruise through those 200 questions like a hot knife through the butter, right? To work out a strategy for the D-Day. So see, everyone has a strategy how I'll solve the questions. What if I'm not able to solve the first 10 questions? My anxiety will shoot up that I don't know 10 questions. But in those grand tests, you'll realize that after those 10 questions, you'll get questions for which you'll know the answer. And then your anxiety dies down, it decreases. And after that, when you've solved a good 50 to 100 questions, you'll see that when your anxiety is gone, you are calm, you'll be able to solve those which you have marked, right? Now that is a strategy that you have to, finalize for the final day. And number 4, find out topics or subjects you are weak in. So see, guys, with grand tests, because nowadays, because of the algorithm, artificial intelligence, they tell you which subjects you're weak in. So you have to go back, rework on those topics. Students, students who utilize this particular part in the grand test, they have a higher rate of success. Because see, competitive exam is all about finding out your weak areas, making them strong, right? And learning from the explanations or mistakes. So if a particular topic is being repeated time and again, and that happens, the topics are repeated, the questions are not repeated nowadays, but the topics are repeated. So if from a particular topic, if you are continuously not doing the questions right, you have to go back to the videos or theory and rework on those. So you have to try. See, no one can prepare perfectly. Perfection is a myth. Nobody is perfect in this world. The only thing you can try and make yourself as perfect as possible, right? So GTs, guys. Now, how to make a plan in uncertain times? Because I get a lot of doubts. So when is NEET-PG going to happen? See, we know that INI set is going to happen in the month of November, right? Mostly, if there is no other mutation of coronavirus and we don't have any other new virus, because we are living in a dangerous century now, right? A lot of things are happening, So if I was in your place, see, going blind is like driving in fog, right? So you should have some goal. So if I was in your place, I would give myself an abstract goal. So I'd give myself 1st November as the INI sit date and 1st Jan as the NEET-PG 2023 date. Guys, I'm not saying that you're gonna have NEET-PG in 2023. I don't think even anybody knows. Even the net board guys, I don't think they have any idea as of now today when they're gonna conduct the exam. So I don't know. It might be in Jan, it might be in Feb, it might be in March. I'm not gonna bluff on that because I don't know. But if I was a student in your place, I need at least some end point, and based upon that, I have to make a timetable at the end of the day. So I'll take the end point as 1st of Jan. If I get one week, if I get 1 month, if I get 2 months, if I get 3 months after that, that is a bonus. And at that point of time, I will have to re-strategize. I'll have to re-strategize, right? So you guys, you have been through most of the topics you have completed, and now even I have spent some time and I've made a timetable for you guys the way I used to make for myself. Because see, I'm a person, I'm good at planning. And I like to see what lies 1 year ahead of me, and I plan according to that. So suppose 7th June, today we are standing on 7th of June. INI set will happen in 1st of November. I have 5 months to go till the INI set. After that INI set, suppose it's on the 1st of November, NEET-PG on 1st of Jan, I have 2 months. So again, I'm saying I have no idea when NEET-PG is going to happen. I have no idea, right? So, but if I take hypothetically 1st Jan, based upon this, if I was a student, I would have considered this, and I would have weaved my plan around this. Now, how would I go about it? For example, see, I have even made a plan for you. See, I'm not saying you have to follow this. You can make your own plan. You are most welcome to make your own plan. But if you don't know how to make a plan, right, I'm here to help you. This is how I used to plan, right, before my exams. So 7th June to 1st of November, I have how many days? 146 days. How many subjects? I have 19 subjects. Hypothetically, how I would have taken the number of days. For medicine, I would have taken 15 days because medicine covers a lot of stuff, you know that. surgery, as a student, I used to feel surgery is much easier as compared to medicine. So I'll take 10 days. OBGY, lots of questions are asked 10 days. Now for these subjects, PEDS, PSM, Pharma, Micro, Biochemistry, Patho, and Anat Physio, I would take 7 days. Skin anesthesia, radio, psyche, opta, ortho, ENT, I'll take 5 days. Now I'm not saying you have to take these many days. You can change depending upon your priority. Suppose you find patho to be more difficult. You want to give it 10 days and you want to decrease 2 days in pediatrics. Be my guest. It's up to you. As I say, there is no fixed formula for all of you, right? You have to find a formula for yourself. I'm just giving you based upon weightage how you have to plan it. So I've already made a plan for 131 days. So in 131 days, whatever I have studied, I'll cover it up plus 2 to 3 subjects which I was weak in. I told you I have to mix it up with other subjects for 2 hours each day. So once I cover 146 days, you can see now that I'm left with 15 days. I'm left with 15 days and it is for INI set revision. Now guys, I would advise you, if you guys have scored a rank of 70k, 80k, 1 lakh, please don't get demoralized, right? Each and every one of you have the ability even to make it big in the INI set exam. So 15 days, try to revise the same subjects. You can see the same subjects. I've just given the number of days: medicine, surgery, OBGY, PEDS, PSM, Pharma, Micro, Biochemistry, 1 day, skin anesthesia, 1 day, radio, psyche, 1 day, opta, 1 day, ortho, ENT, 1 day. So basically 15 days, you can yourself decide. Medicine, if you want 2 days, give 2 days to medicine, right? And cover two subjects in 1 day. So that is something again, it will differ from person to person depending upon which subject you are strong in and which subject you are weak in. Basically, in such a schema, you have to make a plan and try to solve the PYQ, previous year questions of INI set and AIMS. Right, INI set and AIMS, previous 3 year questions, because the topics in INI set, they are repeated, some questions are repeated, topics are repeated. So by doing this, what we are gonna do is we'll be prepared for the INI set exam. Now guys, this is a plan which I should have beforehand so that I know how much I have to walk every day. So if I have to walk 100 kilometers in 30 days, I know that I have to walk 3.3 kilometers each day. I should have that fair idea of what is my goal every day, right? So daily goals, if only I'll be able to achieve daily goals, then I'll be able to achieve weekly goals, monthly goals, and finally my goal of getting a seat, right? Now if you don't want to appear, I mean, I suppose all of you will appear for INI set, but if you're not serious about INI set, you can skip this part, but I would not advise that, right? Then from there, I'm left with 60 days. There's 60, right? I'm left with 60 days. And now I've already revised one. I had a big revision, then I had a small revision before INI set. Now again, I'll have a bigger revision of 44 days. I'll again revise the content. So for example, medicine, surgery, OBGY 4 days, PEDS, PSM, Pharma, Micro, Biochemistry, all these 2 days. And again here, you can plus minus some days here and there, depending upon which subject you're weak in or strong in. So basically you have to cover 44 days. And again, you have to revise. Now see, you should be able to revise in lesser number of days. Otherwise, you have not studied earlier. But if you have studied earlier, well, then by now you should be able to revise in 4 days or 2 days. You should be able to do that. That is the whole purpose of revision. And once you have done that, again we have 15 days before the revision. And the same way you revise for INI set, you'll revise for this exam as well as in these 15 days, try to solve the PYQ, previous year questions of 3 years or 4 years or 5 years of the NEET-PG questions, right? And after this revision, so basically what I'm saying is, if you count, we are having 2 bigger revisions and 2 smaller revisions. So we are able to revise 4 times, 4 revisions, and so that we are ready before the INI set and we are ready before the NEET-PG exam. So guys, such a kind of plan you must have, right? So I've taken out some time today and made this plan for you, because this is how I used to make plan when I was a student, right? So if you make such a plan, and follow it rigorously. See, if you have a timetable, if you have a target for a day, that in these 10 hours I have to finish this, you'll get a feeling that why there are only 24 hours in a day. You'll get that feeling. Until you get that feeling, you're not serious. Then now you can guys shoot your doubts. Now you can shoot your doubts and see. In this session, please, this session is only for those students who have not done well in the NEET-PG despite preparing for the last 1 year. So please keep your doubts limited to that, because I don't want to dilute the session. Other sessions where you are an intern or you're working in a PSC, I'll do separate sessions. Don't worry, right? See, what is the best source for previous year questions? See, previous year question you have in the apps. You can go to the apps, and apps, they have every goddamn thing in this world. Rascal Tom, I don't know if they are eligible or not. You have to look at these this prospectus. 13th November is the INIC date. Pulasta Acharya, I've just told you a hypothetical date because I had no idea. So based upon whatever date you have, you can plan your study according to that. No guys, I'm not going to delete this video. I'm not going to delete this video because I know a lot of people will come later and watch this video. So guys, this session is not for FMG exam. For FMG exam, I'll do a separate session. I just don't want to dilute one session with another topic, right? For FMGs, I'll do a session separately. Don't worry, guys. Jyoti Chandak, please don't jump from one source to another source. Keep your reading twice main notes, then twice reading revision notes is not productive. Rather, 4 times read your main notes. So, Jyoti Chandak, read your main notes. Read your main notes 4 times. As I've said, make a plan. Read it. So, you have to revise. So, try to understand. You have to read, revise, re-revise the same thing time and again. Don't try to read from multiple sources, right? Prakash Dubey, see, this is one question. Prakash Dubey is asking, sir, I'm not able to do the subject within time. See, if you're not able to do a subject within time, that means you're giving yourself unrealistic goals, right? So that is something you have to have a qualitative and quantitative idea about a topic, that how voluminous this topic is. That is a quantitative idea. Qualitative idea means how difficult the topic is. These are 2 things which will decide how much time you're going to need for a topic. So you have to be generous, giving yourself more time, right? So be practical in allocating time, adequate time. Ganesh VS, sir, system-wise learning good. See, system-wise learning is good. No doubt about that. But it takes a lot of dedication, right? If you are that much dedicated, you can please go ahead with that. There is nothing wrong with that. Sneha Arora, so what topics in pharma to focus on, particularly INI set? See, what topics you have to focus on INI set. That is the one reason why you need to go through PYQ, previous year question. If you go through previous year's questions, you will see that some topics are being repeated nowadays. For example, the immune checkpoint inhibitors like pembrolizumab, it was asked, it will be asked again. And dostarlimab, which was recently, some data came back with 100% survival in colorectal cancer. So you'll have question on immune checkpoint inhibitors. So if you'll solve the questions, right, you'll get a hang of what are the important topics. There are specific topics which are important for INI set. And the only way to know about that is solving the PYQ, previous year question. You'll get to know those topics. Shivangi Bhatti, how to study along with hectic job. I'll do a different session for that. Right, this session is not for that. Sapna Thakkar, sir, I have got 24K. What to do? I'll not get my choice. See, Sapna Thakkar is a personal choice, right? If you don't get a seat, and if it was your first attempt, you can try about a second attempt, give yourself another chance, and right, and hope for the best. Bismita Jana sir, would it be okay to follow the timetable according to the as the subject-wise test coming in the app, or will it slow the process? Bismita Jana, that is another way to go about it. I mean, if you're not that good at planning, if you're not that good at planning, then you can go for that subject-wise test, and that is something what we used to have in face-to-face classes called as TND, test and discussion. That test and discussion was more helpful for students who needed constant motivation. They needed a kind of, this is 1 week, I have to do this, then the next TND will come. So if you're that kind of person, you can go with that. There's nothing wrong in that. Ekansh says, sir, should we change subjects if you are not sure from where we have studied earlier, because there is a risk of losing visual memory? Ekansh Singh, if you have studied from anywhere, if it is too much of a problem to solve questions, then only think of changing, because changing is, it can be counterproductive at times. It might eat away a lot of time, right? So try to stick to that particular notes or subject where you have studied. Only if it is too much of a trouble for you to solve questions from those notes, then only think of changing. Otherwise, try to compensate from the Qbank, right? How many GTs to give, guys? 2 to 3 GTs, at least 2 to 3. Farhan Musani, sir, should I compromise my branch or study for 6 more months? Guys, I'll never ever ask you to compromise your branch. Study for another 6 months, because remember, a branch is what will be with you till you die, right? So imagine yourself doing something every day for 8 hours, 10 hours, something which you don't like. It kinds of become a prison, right? In a prison, you are basically captured, right? So try to find your branch of choice which is more close to your heart. So those 8 to 10 hours is something which is a joy. When is Mero Edition 6 launching? So guys, all I can say is Mero Edition 6 is launching very soon, within a couple of days. Sir, is Mero revision videos and Delta videos enough for revision? See, I am a kind of person that I would like to revise my own notes rather than going for revision videos or any other source. I would use revision videos and Delta videos to fill up those particular time when I'm not feeling to read anything. Suppose I'm blanked out, I'm studying, I'm blanked out, and I don't want to do anything, I don't want to study anything. So what I do is I'll just switch on the video for revision videos or Delta videos, and passively I'll just watch, so that I won't waste 1 hour. So try to I like to fill that up, right? Ayush Javeri, can you skip videos by reading the notes directly and solving Qbank, add extra points in the notes? No, that would be suicidal. Reading notes, because see, there are a lot of explanations and everything is not in the notes. I mean to say the conceptual part, because nowadays the questions are more conceptual. They will test your ability, right, to make clinical decisions. For that, videos are important. So is it possible to watch main videos of major subjects like micropatho, surgery, anatomy now? Because these are the subjects I left for NEET-PG. Only did revision videos. Nimisha, there is a lot of time. And as I said, so that you don't feel boredom, you don't feel guilty that you're wasting too much time watching these videos. I've told you in the beginning itself, 2 hours, take 2 hours every day, and gradually you will see that these 2 hours you'll be able to finish these subjects, and those subjects which you left, they will actually become your strongest subject. If you have not watched the video from the beginning, please watch it from the beginning. I've already covered. Suggestion for those who have finished 10 subjects. See, if you have finished only 10 subjects, then you can make a plan. See, you can make a plan. You can divide your days into two half. One half, first half, try to complete something new for 4 to 5 hours. Then the next half, try to revise whatever you have studied already, right? So it has to be a mixture. It has to be a mixture of revision of what you have studied earlier, then reading something new. It should not happen that you cover 9 subjects and by the time you cover 9 subjects, those 10 subjects are gone. That should not happen. So make a mix of, now here you can make 50-50. 50% of time give to the 9 subjects remaining. 50% of time do revise what you have studied until now, the 10 subjects. See how to prepare with internship. Again, I said this session is not for that, guys. I'll do a separate session for internship, for jobs, etc. Ekang Singh, sir, pathology is one subject which is affecting me the most. How to go for it? So I've already told you guys, if something is affecting you too much, follow the triple R, read, revise, re-revise. And I'll tell you something, what I used to do with any subject which used to bother me a lot. For example, micro used to bother me a lot. Micro was a big headache for me because of these bacteria, gram positive, negative, aerobe, anaerobe, right, cocci, rods, coagulase positive, negative. So I used to get confused with micro. So what I did, I bought a big chart paper, and the whole bacteriology I classified in the big chart paper. I spent good 5 to 6 hours. I classified them into right, cocci, rods, gram positive, gram negative, gram positive, gram negative, and everything which was important. So in one big chart paper, I try to rewrite from my notes the whole topic of bacteriology. And I would never use my active time. When I was tired, when I was bored, I used to have a coffee. I would just take my chair, sit in front of that chart paper, I'll sip my coffee, look at the chart paper. Every day I'll look at the chart paper. What happened at the end of the day, I remember the whole picture. Even today, it happens so that even today I remember that chart paper, that on the left hand side, it started with cocci, gram positive, staphylococcus. Then there was streptococcus. Then there was diphtheria, then meningococcus. So I still remember the diagram kind of. So you can do something like this with patho, whatever you don't know, try to make something in the chart paper, paste it every day, keep watching it, and you'll have that pictorial memory. Pratik Jain, sir, is it wise to watch main videos of all major subjects now? See, as I said, this is mostly for those guys who have not done well. This session is for those. But watching main videos for all, it would be difficult. What you can do is major subjects, watch main videos. Short subjects, go for revision videos. You can do that. Revision of topic every day or 2, 4, 6 day. No. Say revision of topic, as I said, day 1 read, day 2 revise, day 3 re-revise. So let it go in a triplet, 1, 2, 3. Day 1 read, day 2 revise, day 3 revise. So day 1 read for 2 to 3 hours, day 2 revise for 15 to 20 minutes, day 3 overlook, re-revise for 5 minutes. Just flip through the pages, right? Shashank Shekhar, can we give GTs during last revision? Obviously, you have to give GTs. You have to give GTs in the last revision as well. What about next, guys? Nobody knows about next. As far as I know, next is going to happen in 2026. I'm not sure. I don't know. But this is what I have learned from some people, right, who are into these things. Nagasai Vattam, sir, is it realistic to expect a seat getting ranked in NICT November 2022? In NEET 2022, I got a rank of 34K. 34K, never count yourself out even if you are 70K or 80K. You can still get a good rank in the INI set. The only thing is, you need to know where the problem lies in your strategy. If you know where the problem lies, you can only then you can improve on it. And if you can improve on it, you can get a very good rank even in the INI set. Don't count yourself out, right? Sneha Arora, you're asking for weekly pharmacology. I'll be doing weekly pharmacology, but after some time. See, Yashu Woody, you can solve GTs which are live in this month. You can solve older GTs as well. So try to solve 2 to 3 GTs every month. FinDoc. So FinDocs is asking, sir, I've got 5700 but not getting radioderma. This is my internship attempt. Is it wise to repeat? It is not only wise, it is required. You must repeat. It is your internship attempt. You must give yourself another try and go for, because you have got such a good rank, even during internship. Is easily, guys, easily you'll be under 1000 or 500 if you slog for another 6 to 7 months. So go for the kill, go for the kill, don't settle for anything less, right? Sneha Arora, Delta videos, MCQ discussion videos, just passively. Whenever you are tired, you don't want to do anything, just at that time watch these videos. They'll be of some help. Pratik Adaki, sir, some tips for studying biochemistry, anatomy. See, anatomy, I cannot advise you. I'm not the best person to advise you anatomy because I myself, I was good in anatomy when I was in my undergraduate time, but I mugged up anatomy. I had no idea because I was a first year student. So I mugged up anatomy. I did not spend a lot of time with the cadaver. The best way to learn anatomy is cadaver. I did not spend any time because of the smell. I didn't like the smell. I thought I'll compensate from the atlas. But the problem of studying anatomy from the atlas is the faster you can read and remember, right? The speed at which you read and remember, at the same speed, you forget it. So by the time I was in final year, all anatomy was gone. So what I did with anatomy during my preparation is I focused more on the Qbank questions which we had at that time. So that was my way. So one odd subject, you can try to do it differently. Biochemistry is a difficult subject. Again, if it is difficult, as I've said in the beginning, if it is a difficult subject, the only thing it can save you is triple R. Triple R, read, revise, re-revise. Plashuta Acharya, I have told time and again, irrespective of what your rank is, 40, 50, 60, 70K, you can easily get a good rank under 2000. Forget about 4000, 5000, under 2000, you can get it. The first thing you need is you need to believe in yourself. If you will not believe in yourself, who else is going to believe? How the net board will believe in you if you're not believing in yourself? So start by believing in yourself. You can do it. How to approach Pearl? See, Pearl, you can don't write. See, how much will you revise? Just revise separately. Pearls, just keep on revising a day. Give half an hour or half an hour in a day to revise your pearls, right? Ayush Javeri, is it realistically possible to complete 90 subjects in 3 months in first reading? See, Ayush Javeri, I'm not saying, as I said in the beginning itself, this session is not for students who are beginning to prepare. This session is for those who have already prepared, appeared for the exam, did not get a good rank. It is for those guys, I'm saying. It is only for those students, right? I got 80K but studied only 1.5 month. Akash Deep Singh, please, you prepare once again. You have studied only for 1.5 month. Give yourself 6 to 7 months. So guys, let me tell you this. This is your internship attempt. This is your first attempt. You have not got a good rank. Don't settle for anything less, right? Give yourself another 6 to 7 months. Re-strategize, bounce back, and you will get there. Just believe in yourself, right, guys? Yogesh Gunavat, I'm unable to retain things. All I forget when I revise any subject. Guys, I've already told you this. RRR. Read, revise, re-revise. That's the formula when I use it. Uh, Nimisha, see, writing DOC on the last page of notebook. See, you have to write drugs of choice separately. You should write. And as I said, as in micro, you can make antimicrobials chart as well. And the for the last revision, in the last revision, when you revise in the last 15 days, don't try to revise each and everything, right? Try to revise only the high yield. For example, for your NEET-PG, I had given you a list of 40 drugs. If you remember, I had posted this in Instagram in Meroling's group, 40 drugs where there was valproate, phenytoin, carbamazepine, lithium, digoxin. Only from 40 drugs, you had around 7 to 8 questions, right? So in those last 15 days, try to revise only those important stuffs. Meghna Pulgam, is it realistic to start with 19 subjects, end up decently? See, the time might be less, but I'll tell you what. See, those guys were starting now. Try to start with the major subjects like medicine, surgery, OBGY, Pharmac, Patho. Keep the short subject for last, at last, right? So that if the exam date is declared and if you don't have much time, you can go for revision videos for the short subjects, right? Short subjects, go for revision videos plus Qbank. So by that way, you'll be able to cover the major subject from the main videos. And at last, if you don't have much time, you can jump onto the revision videos for the short subjects and try to cover it up. So as I said in the beginning, no one can be perfect. You have to make it as perfect as possible with whatever time and resources you have. Nikhil Suroju, sir, I started to use Mero, completed 10 subjects, got 58K ranks, sir. Now I'm preparing to go for offline coaching. See, it's a personal choice. It's a personal choice. I can't say much. The reason being, see, there are two kinds of students. One who are strongly motivated. If you're one of those motivated students, you can cover the course yourself. You can continue with online. But if you're a kind of student who needs constant push motivation, you can go for offline as well. Diksha Chamoli, yes, you can do that. You can do that. And the source, if you want, you can change, right? It's not gonna make any big difference, right? So you can keep continuing. You can reset your Qbank and again try solving. See, Mohammed Fawaz, how to prepare while working, right? I'll do a separate session on that. This session is totally different. So Saravia, I am 80K this NEET. Can I improve it under 500? See, I have told this time and again. You have to believe in yourself. Yes, every one of you can do that. The only thing is you need self-belief and move ahead. You can do that. Sir, how to make 20th notebook? See, how do we make a 20th notebook? See, I'll make a 20th notebook. I'll tell you how we make, right? I'll take a book and I'll write the most important ones. The most important ones, that is the high yield. So let me say from pharma, what can I write? What can I write down? The drugs of choice, which will include antidotes as well. Right, so you'll have drugs of choice for diseases plus antidotes of choice from pharma, right? Second, I'll write down the formula from G Pharma. And number three, some drugs, only some drugs, mechanism of action, side effect, contraindication. Some drugs. Lists are given. This list will contain some important drugs like digoxin, lithium, myodaron, valproate, etc. See, I've given you this list. I've posted it many times in Instagram, in Marrow links. So in pharma, you will get around, I guess, 15 to 20 pages, 15 to 20 pages, which you have to revise. So the same thing you have to do with all subjects like microbiology, biochemistry, right? The most important high yield stuff you have to write. Oh. See, NEET-PG preparation with job, is it a good or bad decision if you want to start my prep again? See, preparing with a job is difficult, but though I understand, we all are different in terms of financial conditions, and at sometimes we have to, take difficult decisions. So I'll tell you something. When I was preparing for All India PG, at that time we used to have All India PG. It was not NEET-PG. So All India PG, to sit and prepare for 1 year in Delhi, I needed roughly around 2 lakh rupees. 2 lakh rupees was a big deal for my parents. So I had to do some job. I acquired some money around 2 lakh rupees, right? I saved, so to say. And then I had to pay for coaching and fooding and lodging and etc. And then that is all money that I had. And that is that 1 year I had. And I was like, walking on fire. I mean to say is, this is it. या तो इस पार या तो उस पार. If I would have got a seat in AIPG, I would have picked pharma, and I would have got out of the clinical field because I don't like clinicals, so to say, right? Then that is something which worked as a motivation, right? I was under tremendous stress because I didn't want to go to PHC, join a PHC, because or else I had one option: go back to Odisha, join a PHC, and do something for my whole life, which I don't like, right? So if you are doing a job and preparing simultaneously, somehow how the mind works, See, I needed money at that time, but I didn't do job. I left my job, and I only sat and prepare because I had to put myself through that situation. When I'm not earning, just sitting idly and I'm studying, I have no excuse not to study. I have no excuse whatsoever, right? So you have to put yourself through that fire, right, to come out of that, right? When stakes are high, you can do that. So how to cover depth of topics? Is it okay to see standard textbooks for few weak topics? See, target squared. I would not lie to you. Even when I was preparing, I would use textbooks, but selectively. Like Harrison, I would use to study topics like hyperkalemia, HOCM, which are frequently repeated, plus I'm weak in those topics. If they're frequently repeated, see, these two criteria should be fulfilled. It should be a frequently repeated topic, plus you should be weak in that. Only then go to textbook. Otherwise, it can be counterproductive, right? Robbins, the first 7 chapters of Robbins, I studied from Robbins to get a fair idea because I never touched Robbins when I was an undergraduate student. Priya, sir, I'm watching videos of a subject, but then I'm not able to finish the entire subject. Any tips to stay consistent? See, to stay consistent, you have to make yourself realize what is on the line. Your career is on the line, and if you cannot finish something today, it will go on, keep on lingering on. At the end of the day, you might be barely able to finish your course. There will be no time for revision, right? So you have, for that for that you have to make a timetable. You have to make a timetable for each and every subject, and you will see that if you won't finish this subject in these 3 to 4 days. So if you see what actually I've done here, you can see here is, when I make a timetable like this, I know that my 131 days are blocked. My 131 days are blocked. I cannot borrow one day from any subject. Their subject will suffer. That means if I have 15 days for medicine, by hook or crook, I have to cover medicine in 15 days. Then I have to divide medicine 15 days into one day each, what I need to cover in each day, right? And you know your daily targets, and that will keep you on your toes. Hemant Dubey, hi sir, I have confusion regarding should I drop or not. 17K rank, first attempt, 14 batch. See, 17K rank in first attempt is a good rank, and you could not make it, it is okay, right? See, Hemant Dubey is, if finance is not a big problem, if money is not a big problem, if your family can support you, I would advise you to, sit for another 6 to 7 months, because easily you can get under 2000 rank, right? Easily you can get. If finance is a problem, then you can pick some DNB and move on in life. That's okay. Sometimes we have to take difficult decisions which we don't like. Sometimes we have to take. You cannot, remember, you cannot make everyone happy in your life. Your first aim is to make yourself happy. Then only you can keep anyone else happy in your life, right? So picking a branch is also a difficult ball game. First aid is important for NICT. See guys, if you have time, go for a first aid. If you don't have time, see, again I said, if first aid works for someone, it does not mean it will work for you. So if there is a guy who is very strong in theory, he has watched all the videos, revised multiple times, and then he's going for first aid. But if you have not even finished your course and you have not even revised it once, and if you're jumping to first aid, it'll become counterproductive for you. So as I told in the beginning, don't get swayed away by the interviews of toppers, right? Everyone is different. I said in the beginning, whatever I say even today, you don't have to follow me blindly. Try to analyze and see what suits you, right? Yadav Sanjay, see, for this is not a session for FMGs, guys. FMG, I will do a separate session. Don't worry, right? This session is only for those students who appeared for NEET-PG, could not do well. So let us not dilute this session. See, please start a marathon or something. See, marathon, see, Mero guys, they start marathon, they will start soon. Don't worry about that. All right, I am great, guys. So that's all, guys. It's time for me to go back to the bed so that tomorrow I can carry on with my work. And it was great. It was great guiding you guys. And if you have any queries, you know me, right? I'm always on Instagram, and I reply all your queries with 100% efficacy. I try to answer to each and every one of your queries. If you still do have queries, you can always message me. And if you don't know my because Instagram is where I answer most of the queries. My Instagram handle, it is @docfarmaniac, right? There is only one docfarmaniac, that's me. And whatever doubts you have, I'm gonna answer. Closing statements for this session, guys. Never count yourself out. No matter what rank you have got, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000. you can still make it big, not only in next NEET-PG, but also in INI. I know a lot of you must be going through a lot of problems. Pressure from your family to give up, pick up something and move on. Pressure from your near and dear ones, from your loved ones, that you need to move on. Feeling of deceit or feeling of low in self-confidence because people around me, they have moved on, they have got rank, but I have not. Why do I deserve this? Now these kind of feelings, they come into our mind, they creep in. But this kind of feelings, they will test what is it that you are made up of, what is the metal that you are made up of. And this is the time to move ahead and believe in your dreams, believe in yourself, and keep moving ahead. Remember, don't choose a branch just like that, just to get out of this churn. You will repent for your whole life. And just imagine this 6 to 7 months, compare that with the next 50, 60, 70 years, whatever life God has planned for you. Which one is bigger? Because whatever you do, that is what you become at the end of the day. If you're not happy, you are irritated throughout the day from your work, if you don't like what you do, you can't keep anyone happy, neither your parents, nor your wife or husband, or your kids, right? Life becomes difficult. So choose a branch wisely, guys. No matter how weird it might sound to others. Today only I got a message. A guy is not interested in clinicals. He's interested in some preclinical. But he's got a good rank also. But his parents are furious. You're wasting your life. Why are you not going for clinical? Now believe me, at times we have to go against our parents. I went against my parents. My parents were very unhappy because when I went to the counseling, I told my parents beforehand that I'm gonna pick pharma. Even though I was getting medicine, I was getting surgery, I was getting obs gynae, DMRD, D-ortho. But my heart was not into clinicals. Now, had I listened to my parents, my father and mother, had I listened to other people, my loved ones, my friends, I would have doomed my life. Because today I teach for hours altogether, 12 hours a day, 5 days. I record videos for 9 hours, 10 hours. Today I have come to this live session voluntarily. It is not nobody has forced me to do this, but I enjoy doing this. I'm never tired. Even after a class of 12 hours, my endorphin levels are high. They're shooting through the roof, right? Because I'm happy in whatever I do. So even if your parents, they don't want to do something, they don't want you to do something, they think that they know better for you. Sometimes they don't. That's the truth. And just try to tell them where you'll find happiness. Right? Sometimes you have to go against them. That is a tough decision. But later when they see their son or daughter is happy with whatever he or she is doing, they come around. Because at the end of the day, they're our parents. And the only thing that they want for us is us to be happy. So sometimes they don't know where our happiness lies, isn't it? Anyways, guys, good night to all of you. And I wish you all the best. Keep working hard for the next 6 to 7 months. God be with you. Take care. Bye-bye. Lots of love.